She didn't plan to become that kind of person. At least, that's what people later said. Because when Kemi picked up that envelope from the table that night, her hands were shaking. Not from fear exactly, but from something else. Something heavier. Something that had been building for a long time. And by morning, her sister's life would be gone. And she would be the one boarding that plane. It all started in a small town just outside Ibadan. Two sisters, same house, same upbringing, but very different lives. Shade was the older one, calm, patient, the kind of person people trusted without even knowing why. She worked at a small office in town, kept to herself, and never complained much. Then there was Kemi, quicker to speak, quicker to react, and always watching. People noticed it, though no one said it out loud. The way Kemi would look at her sister when others praised her, the way her smile would fade just slightly. At first, it didn't seem like much, just small comments. You think you're the only one who knows what you're doing, or you always want people to see you as perfect. Shade never argued back. She would just sigh and move on. But Kemi held on to everything, every comparison, every compliment Shade received, every moment she felt less. Then one afternoon, a letter arrived. It had foreign stamps, clean edges. It stood out immediately. Kemi was the one who picked it up. She turned it over slowly, her thumb tracing the edge. "Shade," she called out, "something came for you." Shade opened it right there in the living room. At first, she didn't react. Then her expression changed. She sat down. "It's from Ade," she said. That name again, Ade, the man who had left Nigeria years ago, the one people talked about like he had made it big overseas. It was said he had a good job, a nice house, a comfortable life. At least, that's what everyone believed. "What does he want?" Kemi asked. Shade hesitated, then showed her the papers. "He sent for me." Everything was there. Visa, flight ticket, travel date. Kemi stared at it longer than she should have. "So, you're going?" she asked. Shade nodded slowly. "Yes." That night, something changed. The house was quiet, but Kemi's mind wasn't. She lay on her bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. Shade was leaving the town, leaving the struggle, going abroad to marry a man who already had everything. And she was staying behind. Same routine, same life. That was when the thoughts came. Not loud, not all at once, just slowly. What if it was me? She's not better than me. I could do it too. Sleep never came. Only the image of that visa sitting on the table, waiting. The next few days passed in a blur. Neighbors came to greet Shade. "Ah, you're traveling. Don't forget us when you get there." Kemi stood nearby, smiling when needed, but inside, something was shifting. Then came the night before the flight. Everything was ready. Shade's suitcase was packed neatly. Her documents were placed carefully on the table. The house felt unusually still. "I'll sleep early," Shade said. "I have to wake up before dawn." Kemi nodded. She watched her sister walk into the room and shut the door. Silence. Minutes passed, then an hour. Kemi sat alone in the living room. Then slowly she stood up. Her footsteps were soft, careful. She walked towards the table. The envelope was still there. Her hand hovered over it. She paused. For a second, it felt wrong. But then she thought about everything again. The life, the opportunity, the way people always chose Shade first. And just like that, she picked it up. Her heart began to race. She glanced at the bedroom door, still closed, still quiet. She opened the envelope. Passport, visa, ticket, everything in Sade's name. Kemi stared at it, then whispered, "This could be me." That was the moment everything changed. By morning, Sade woke up to an empty table. At first, she thought she misplaced it. She searched everywhere. Her bag, the drawers, under the bed, nothing. "Kemi," she called out, but Kemi was already gone. Gone before sunrise. Gone with the documents. Gone to the airport. At the airport, Kemi moved quickly. She kept her head low, answered questions briefly. It was said she avoided eye contact, afraid someone might notice something was off, but somehow everything worked. She checked in, boarded, sat by the window. As the plane began to move, her hands were cold, but she told herself it was worth it. "This is my life now," she whispered. The plane lifted into the sky. Clouds swallowed the ground below. For the first time, she allowed herself to breathe.
Attention.
But then, something
we are
felt
experiencing an
off.
emergency.
A voice
Brace
came over the
yourselves for
speaker.
immediate impact.
Different tone, different language. Kemi frowned. She looked around. Passengers were speaking, but not in a way she recognized. She leaned toward the woman beside her. "Excuse me, where is this flight going?" The woman looked at her strangely, then answered, and in that moment, Kemi's heart dropped, because the destination she heard was not the one on Sadie's ticket, not even close. At first, she thought it was a mistake. There must be an error. But the woman shook her head. No mistake. Kemi grabbed the ticket, checked it again. The name, the number, everything looked right, but something wasn't. That was when the fear began to settle in. Real fear, heavy fear, because somewhere between that house and this plane, something had gone terribly wrong. And now, she was thousands of feet in the air, heading somewhere she had never planned to go, and there was no way to turn back. No one expected what would happen next, and by the time Kemi finally understood the truth, it would already be too late.